Test, 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 test. Oh, you can't make this up. The hills are alive with the sound of music. Have I ever done that for you? That's my Loive impression. Have you ever heard my Loive impersonation? The hills are alive with the sound of music. Oh, I love her so much. She's so cool. Yahoo! Oh my gosh, long time no see. We talked some time ago, but we haven't seen each other in like a week. Oh my god. Hello. There's so much to catch up on. Holy moly. Yeah, there's so much to tell you. So much for you to tell me, I'm sure. I'm sure you've had a very eventful week as well, right? I'm sure it was super eventful without me there. I need to know everything I missed. 久しぶり。久しぶりだな。ただいま。ただいま。I'm happy to be back. But I'm also not. I want to go back. I want to like go back but take everything with me so I can just stay there and then do everything I do at home. It's such a weird experience, you know what I mean? Like I'm so happy to be back, but I'm also so sad to leave. I want to go back. I want to take another trip, but I want this one to be permanent and I want to take everything with me. I think they call that moving. Yeah, I think I want to move. Oh man. But yeah, it really did feel like it was forever, didn't it? Holy moly. Thank you for streaming despite just being back. Honestly, I didn't know what to do with myself. I'm exhausted, to tell you the truth. I'm so pooped. All of the excitement is now crashing in. All of the social interaction that I had over the last week. I'm now in like a social energy recession. I've got no energy left, but I wanted to talk. It's been a whole week. I could do something short and simple. Feel like a memory. No. I'm not a distant memory yet. I'm right here. Okay, hold on. Here, I'll up your immersion. Here. How can I be like a memory? I'm gonna play with my camera effects. Hold on. I have some filters on here that I can use, I think. Let me see. How do I do this? Was it this one? Oh wait. Oh, do you remember what we used when we were doing the thing with Napstablook? I think we could do it that way, like this. Okay, this will work. Oh man, I kind of have to sneeze. Is it gonna happen? Is it gonna happen? What do you think? Place your bets. Am I about to sneeze? Ah, I have to sneeze so bad. Come on. Thank you for the feather. Come on. Ah! Ah, it's gonna drive me crazy. It's right there. Oh, come on. No. Ah, my eyes are watering. It's that bad, but it won't happen. Look at the light. Okay. My eyes are watering from needing to sneeze, but it's not happening. Oh man, can you hear it too? You could probably hear it when I inhale. I'm like, holy moly. Anyway, achoo. All right, here's my memory. Oh wait, I can do this better too. Hold on. I think if I do like, oh wait, no, I need to move this down here. Oh wait, okay. This is my, here's my, I'm a memory. I'm a memory. I'm gone. This is just what I look like when you think of me. Because I'm not here anymore. I've become a memory. I've become a memory. Oh, it's so sad. Wait here. This is way too jovial and fun. Oh man, it's been so long since I last saw you. I can't believe it. I'm gone. I'm gone forever. Oh wait, wait. I think I could do this better. Hold on. Where's my box blur? Is it this one? Ooh, okay, hold on. Let's play around with this one. Thinking emoji. Like this. Oh my god. Success. Okay. Well. I'm gone. Yeah, I left too long. I've become a memory. Didn't even notice I was gone? Well, I'm gone forever now. I'm gone forever. I'm just a memory. Can you tell what face I'm making with this? Oh my gosh. It's like you can still hear my voice. Oh yeah, I guess that would probably help too. Okay, here. I'll up your immersion even more. Watch this. No, wait, I have another idea. Watch this, watch this, watch this. I'm gonna make it so real and accurate because I'm gone forever. It's like you can still hear me. Okay, watch this. I'll show you. Are you ready? You know I love immersion in roleplay whenever we're playing games like this. All right, watch this, watch this, watch this, watch this. Hi. Oh my gosh. Whoa. Why are you acting so sad? Why are you acting so sad? What's the matter? Are you crying? What the heck? Hey, calm down. Let's all calm down. Let's all calm down, okay? Oh my gosh. I hate you. No, I would never do such a thing. Do you even know me? Are you new here or something? That's not a thing I do. What the heck? There's no one there. No, I'm here. I'm right here. Wait, can you not see me? Is this some kind of sick prank? Can you not see me right now? Do you not see me? Am I not right here? Wait, I'm right here. I'm here. You see me? You can see me, right? Who's talking? You can't see me. Must have been the wind. What? No. Oh God. You can see me, right? I'm right here. No, don't say that. Come on. You know those videos where they'll pull a prank on a kid in the family where they're like, when I remove this blanket, he'll be invisible. And then they do it, and then everybody in the family pretends they can't see the little kid, and the kid thinks it's real, and they always start crying. Those always made me so sad. I feel bad when I watch those videos. I know they're supposed to be funny, and I know they reveal the joke immediately when the kid starts crying, but I just feel sad. He doesn't want to be invisible, you know? It's so sad. That's what I felt like just now. Oh, man. But yeah, I took a vacation last week. It was my first proper vacation, I'll say. Because I did take a half vacation in the summer of 2025, where I was away from home. I was out of office for a week, but I was still doing streams and I was still doing work, and the entire trip was work motivated. I went there for a work related purpose that I needed in order to do my job. So it was a half vacation because I did still get to see some friends and hang out and do fun stuff. But this last week was very different. This is a trip that I planned entirely removed from any motivation related to work or to my coworkers. This is a trip I planned entirely to relax and to have fun and to meet a long old friend of mine. I say old friend, but we're like longtime friends is probably a better way to put it. Close friend of like 5 years. But it did happen that I was able to arrange to see some coworkers. Yeah, I was able to coordinate with people, get everybody in a similar area around the same time, just based on what made sense for everybody around that time. Yeah. Did you see any of that? I wonder. Yeah, it was more than just Zeal. Zeal was the one that I streamed with in the end. I personally kind of want to see if I can do something with Olive by the Beat before I start going ham and collabing with everybody. But yeah, I did actually see some other talents this last week. I just couldn't tell you whenever we would call because I wanted to make sure everybody that we met up with, I wanted to make sure everybody was okay with it. So I had to wait. I had to wait and get my okay, but I got the okay, so now I can talk about it. I hope you don't mind. I hope it doesn't make you feel like I'm keeping secrets or anything. It's just a matter of respect, you know? It's important to make sure that everybody's on the same page. Is that why I had a swag crisis? Yes. So I like I said, the trip that I planned this last week was mainly to see my bestie, old friend that I keep saying old friend, but you know, longtime friend who I've actually never met until this last week. But I did square away of the week. I squared away 2 days to do stuff with coworkers who could be in the area. And that was really exciting. So the first day we went to an escape room. I think you've heard about that. And we had a nice dinner. I think that was not my swag crisis day, but I did have a swag crisis over the same group. But yeah, the first day it was the same people both days, but yeah, if you haven't heard yet, I saw Shu Yaminer. Keep an eye out for Yaminer. That's pretty cool, right? And I saw Uki Violetta. Super exciting, right? I saw Bear Vermilion. Whoa. Oh my gosh. And I saw Zyogin Joker. Yeah. Yeah, it was I didn't miss anybody, right? It was the 5 of us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. I was like counting it in my head. Yeah, your president, Uki. I met them. I met them this last week. It was so exciting. What happened? Yeah, so that part that part was not public or anything. It wasn't streamed. That was one of those things where it's like we're just doing this for fun and then we can talk about it after. So first impressions. Yeah, I'm sure you want to hear that, right? That's the part of the secret offline interactions that are fun for you, right? Hearing about what we thought of each other. So I'll fully indulge you. I'll fully indulge you. Okay, I guess I could go in that order because I impulsively named them in debut order just now. That's the order I decided on in my head. So Shuya Meaner, he had honestly exactly the vibes I expected from him going into it. I feel like he's the kind of person that, how do I phrase this? You probably get this vibe from watching him if you are a Yaminian. #represent. He has this personality trait where it's like you know, he's just real. He just says and does what he wants and he's chill like that. You know what I mean? So if he wants to be goofy, he's just gonna be goofy. Just very, you know, very comfy, chill vibes. Very fun. I feel like I walked away from hanging out with Shu a little bit worse though, because he's kind of opened my eyes a little bit to the value of 6-7. I know. So I used to be radically against 6-7 as a whole, but after walking around and hanging out with Shu Yamino, I still don't like 6-7 out loud. I hate saying it and I hate hearing it. Like I specifically hate when people are like 6-7. I hate that. I'm tired of it. We need to leave it in November, okay? We've moved on. Honestly, October even. We need to leave it behind. However, whenever you hear 6-7 in a natural context, like in a very normal sentence, like, yeah, we could walk like 6 or 7 minutes to be there. You know, if you hear that, rather than saying it, I think doing the hand motion, like where you juggle your hands up and down, I think that's really funny. I think that's still in for a good month, but I didn't think that until I hung out with Shu, so. I'm sure you like to hear about fashion too, right? I'm really into that, and it's something that well, it's not something that I think you should judge or profile anybody based on. It is something I like to pay attention to because it's a way that you express yourself, right? I think Shu's fashion choices are very consistent with his personality, as I've just described, right? He's very chill, very comfy. So he just had a very chill look, very chill, very chill. I'm trying to think of how best to describe this. Basic. I say basic, but not in a negative way. Do you know what I mean? Like essentials. I think he was prone to essentials. Like nothing too flashy. Pants and a nice coat. You know the vibe? Yeah. That's Shuya meaner. Very nice. Very nice. And I feel like it's exactly his vibe too, personally. Yeah, a little minimalist maybe, but not in the traditional sense of the word minimalist, because that is a separate fashion niche, and it's not exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm not talking about minimalist design, but, just a bit of a minimalist approach, comfy maxing. Ver said college student. Yeah, I could see that vibe. Just of, he's just doing what he's going to do. He's just chilling. He's Shuyamino. You know what I mean? He's wearing essentials. Like he dresses in a way that is like, how do I phrase this? He's stylish, but in a way that doesn't look like he's trying to be stylish. Do you know what I mean? Like it looks nice, but it doesn't look like he's bothered by what other people are thinking of it. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense. It's hard to describe these things, but that was my read on the way that he dressed. Very nice. Yeah, I was really, really happy to meet Shu. I've been looking forward to that for a while. And I got more things to say about him in a bit when I get to day 2 of the 2 days that I hung out with coworkers. But then we have Uki Violetta, the Debonair president, recently elected, I guess. Or would you say elected or appointed, maybe? Because I don't know if you ran a formal election or anything to put them in a seat of power, or if it was just kind of established randomly. But yeah, I met Uki. I've been excited for that. That was actually something that we had talked about a couple times before. Not that like it was ever something we were planning previously. It was more just like they said something really sweet to me actually at one point, and it stuck with me. And I don't know if I want to share it or not, but I think I'm going to. I think I'm going to, and I think they wouldn't mind. But they told me at one point that they were not usually the type to be very like touchy, but that they would not mind hugging me if we met. And that made me happy because I'm a big hugger. I can actually be very touchy when it comes to things like that. So, smiles. I got my hug. Yeah, Uki is very, honestly, same as Shu. I feel like it's exactly what you expect watching them on stream. I think Uki is very chill, very relaxing to be around, very comforting vibes. And Uki was also kind of like actually my mother, if that makes sense, during the trip, because you may know this about me already. I've got very, very poor navigational skills. I'm really, really bad at finding my way around, especially in like civilization. You know what I mean? Like I can navigate a hike and I can handle things that are very different. But when it comes to modern design and like urban architecture and stuff like that, most things look exactly the same. So I get really, really lost. And they were very, very helpful in, guiding me where I needed to go. And honestly, when we were traveling and getting where we needed to go as a group, they were kind of almost consistently leading the charge. Like they knew where we were going to go. They knew exactly which way to take to get there. And we were always there on time. As far as fashion, I feel like I don't need to say anything, right? Yeah, no, I think we got a little mogged. I'm not gonna lie. I was actually kind of intimidated. I will be totally honest with you. I had my swag crisis on day 2 because the outfit that I wore for day 1 was one that I planned when I was packing. So you didn't get to witness that swag crisis. But my swag crisis was at least 70% motivated by the fact that I was gonna see Uki Violetta. Because I know they're very stylish, right? Very, very stylish. They look really nice. Yeah, I think to put a word to their style, though, I guess. Oh, hello, Frio. Oh my gosh. Thank you for the redirect. You were having was it a coffee zatsu? I listened to a little bit of it while I was setting up, but I wasn't able to stay for very long, unfortunately. I'll have to listen to the next one or maybe catch up. Yeah, I hope you're feeling good. Get some good rest. Thank you so much. Hello to Doremin as well. I'm currently recapping my vacation. Yeah, you may not have heard as much of my squeaky clown voice the last week, huh? That's because I've been gone the whole week. You haven't seen this face? That's because it's been hidden away. Hidden from the world. But now I'm back. Welcome back. Thank you so much. I'm glad. I almost mixed glad and happy and got glappy. I'm happy to be back. I'm glad to be back. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'll be locking in on some stuff that piled up over my trip later tonight, but I wanted to chat for a bit, recap my trip. We were just going through impressions of everybody, and I was on Uki. Yeah, I met up with Uki last week among the others. But yeah, to put a word to their style, I think is what I was going to say. I think it would be very... they have kind of something that's typical of, I would say, East Asian street fashion subcultures, like street fashion. I want to say modern street fashion. Last 5 years. Very trendy, very in, very stylish, but leaning comfy, you know, leaning kind of loose. You know what I mean? Nothing too tight, nothing too restrictive. That's what I would say. I think that's the best way that I would describe it. Maybe specifically Korean street fashion would be a more accurate descriptor, because there are slight nuances. I think very typical of what you might... Ah, man, the fashion world is so convoluted and complex. It's kind of difficult to put the right words to it. Yeah, it was very, very well put together. Very, very well put together and very, very clean. Yeah, like I said, I was low-key intimidated. I was low-key intimidated. And then we get to Ver Vermilion. I met him as well. Oh my gosh, he was so sweet. It's kind of interesting. I feel like when it comes to the vibes for him on stream versus off stream, he's the first one where I almost want to call out a slight gap, because I feel like on stream he's a bit mischievous. Dare I say mischievous? Dare I say a little bit of a troublemaker? Maybe troublemaker is a bit away from the word I'm looking for. I should have thought about what I wanted to say before this. He has this vibe on stream, I feel, where he's kind of like he's a teaser, and he'll say something crazy and then be like, oh, JK. You know what I mean? Like he'll say something and then immediately take it back because it's crazy and it's a joke. But I feel like in person he can be a lot more like sweet and doting, is what I would say. Maybe it's just my perspective though, my biased perspective. Yeah, I feel like for me at least, he read throughout the trip as kind of like looking out for others. I feel like he was very, just making sure everybody's on the same page. Yeah. Yeah, he was very comforting to be around, I will say. I was very happy that I could properly meet him. He called me cute. What? Did he say I was cute? When? Where? When did he say that? Tell me everything he said about me right now. Did he say I was cute? What? Okay, hold on. Rewind. Okay, no, I'll find out later. I'll find out later. I'm sure you filled the clip tags with that, right? I haven't been scrolling on social media at all. Over my trip, I wasn't really doing it at all. I would open it maybe for 3 seconds and then I'd be like, ugh. And then I'd close it. And then since I got home, I've just been rotting in bed, recovering. He called me a sweetheart? A cutie pie? Yeah. Oh my gosh. He wanted to hug me? Well, we did get a hug in. Man, if I knew that, I would have given him more. I tend to be a bit shy about asking for hugs because I know not everybody likes them. Anyway, about his fashion, I feel like he may not have been the best reference for like what to tell you as far as fashion goes, because I think for both days he had just gotten off the clock. Yeah, he had just gotten off of work, so he showed up in a suit. It was a really nice suit though. It fit him perfectly. It looked really, really nice. Looked really good. Yeah, I don't know if that would necessarily represent his sense of style. Do you know what I mean? Because it's more like an obligation. Yeah, he had just clocked out of work before he met us. In fact, we did actually go to a couple stops before the escape room, but it was as an incomplete group because he was working. I was like, I need him to be here. Yeah, it looked really nice though. It was like I could tell that he cared about that kind of thing, because even though it was like a work thing, even though it was a work outfit, it was nice. It was well assembled. It looked right on him. Yeah. Yeah, his style is employed, I guess. But it was a nice suit. And you know, I'm actually we've talked about this from time to time. I'm really into men's formal wear. I think it's my favorite genre or style of clothes. So it's not something you really see outside of specific contexts. You know, people don't often get dressed in men's formal wear just to go to the grocery store. So it's not something you really see in a removed context like that. So it was refreshing for me because I get really into that. Yeah. Anyway. And then we get to Gin Joker. Zeal is... I'm trying to think of how to describe the nuance for him, because I've actually met him before. We've hung out before this off stream. But I'm trying to think of something that will be good for you to know. I know you're gobbling. I know you're chomping at the bit to get this information. I think he is about, as far as vibes go, right? I think he's about the same as he is on stream. But I think... Here's the thing. For Zeal, the way Zeal is in a group of 2 or 3 is one thing. But the way Zeal is in a group of 4+ is a very different thing. Do you know what I mean? And I think you may witness the same in on-stream collabs. Yeah, I feel like when the group number gets bigger, he's more of a listener than a talker. You have to kind of keep an open ear to see when he's going to chime in a good joke. So I think for most of the group stuff, he was more just kind of he was vibing, you know. He's in the moment, not a phone in sight, planning things. I don't know about that, but I think when he's in bigger company, like groups of people, he tends to live in the moment rather than really, you know, really cause a scene. I tend to be the opposite. I'm an attention, like I need all the attention. I'm a glutton for attention. When I'm in a big group, I need everybody to look at me. Yeah, you got it. He's exactly that emoji. He's there like the relieved emoji, like, yeah, he's just like, Like that's most of how the conversations would go as a group. He'd be like, So that might honestly be what you expect. Though I did get to spend some time alone with him as well on the second day. And I will say that's also, I want to say that's just about what it is on stream too. Though I will say, for your perspective, especially when it's him and me specifically, he is very different when there is somebody there to listen. Do you know what I mean? I think when there's not an audience, he's goofy and silly in a different way, I guess. And more eager to share stuff, I think, rather than embarrass me in front of everybody. Yeah, no, I hope you, maybe that like kills your fantasy or something, but yeah, whenever he's like messing with me, that is entirely for you rather than for me. That happens about 1000% less when you are not also in the room where it happened. I embarrassed him in front of everybody. Oh, with the donut thing? Well, it's not my fault he ordered it 102 times. I was surprised because, you know, I started getting delivery drivers to get me food during VCraft. I started doing delivery driving every now and then whenever I don't have the energy to cook. So I get it. And I get that sometimes when you find a favorite, it piles up. But 102 of a specific donut? But you have to kind of have some empathy, right? Because, you know, he can't have gluten. And that's like 99% of most meals that are served here. And most gluten-free options, rather than being good gluten-free food, it's like, here's a gluten-free imitation of this really, really good food. It's increased since then. I can only assume it has. At the very least, it's 104 because he ordered 2, one for him and one for me right there. Or actually, that might make it 103 because it was one order. I'm not actually sure. That's what I need to ask him. Is this for like 102 individual donuts that he's ordered? Or is it 102 occasions where he has ordered some number of this donut? Do you know what I mean? I need to ask him for clarification on how that works. Like, has he ordered it 102 times or has he ordered 102 of it? I just know that when that restaurant gets the order in, it's like one donut for Zeal G. I just know they're like, there's our goat. Yeah, I know, right? If it was the only donut I could have, I would order it 1,002 times. I would put that number to shame if it was the one good donut that was available to me. And it was a good donut too. It was a really good donut. Like, it was good. I would not have even thought at all if it was the first thing that was shown to me. I would not have thought at all that it was because of a dietary restriction. I would choose to eat that donut. It's good. It's a good donut. Yeah, I think that covers everybody, but I haven't talked about his style. His style, I will say that off the clock, he dresses very differently than on the clock. Because, you know, on the clock, we all got our cool uniforms. He's got his snazzy suspenders. I love a good pair of suspenders. I'm a big fan of wearing those in my downtime, actually. But in his downtime, I think he dresses kind of like... He's almost like a snapshot, is what I'll say. He's like a snapshot of a bygone era. The early 2000s to the 2010s. That's what I'll say. I think he dresses like somebody in a Disney Channel TV show. I think he dresses like... How do I put it? Calling him old. No. I'm saying that he has a very historic sense of fashion. I think he dresses... No, I think saying he dresses like a Disney Channel actor is a pretty good way to put it. Because, you know, he's got the jeans, he's got a t-shirt on, and he's got a flannel over that, maybe. Or like a jacket over that, or a hoodie over that. That's it. And I will say, it was balls cold. It was so cold there. I was freezing to death. And I was wearing like 6 layers. That's an exaggeration. I was wearing an inner t-shirt, and I was wearing a dress shirt, and then I was wearing a sweater, and then I was wearing a coat. So that's basically 6 layers, because my coat is actually a 2-layer coat. But anyway. Yeah, no, it was freezing. Yeah, no, honestly, I admire him, and I wish that I could handle the same, because I grew up with the cold. I grew up in an area that gets some pretty heavy snow. I'm very weak to it. I don't have the same endurance. I don't have the same... I don't know what it is. I just can't handle it like he can. But yeah, no, he was out there balling in 2 layers like it was nothing. I want what he has. It suits him though. When you see him in it, it's so him. Yeah, that's how I would describe his style. I think it would be casual, but specifically in a way that kind of reminds me of like high school TV shows. Does that make sense? He dresses like a student in a high school TV show. As an adult. That's what I would say. And it absolutely suits him. It 1000% suits him. So yeah, as I said, the first day we went to an escape room. That was our first big thing that we were gonna do. And I contributed so little. I was determined too, because I love puzzles, even if they're difficult for me sometimes. I love solving puzzles. I was determined. I was going to be the goat. I was going to be the breadwinner. I was obsessed. I was like, I'm going to carry us to the finish. And, oh, you know about it already. Okay, yeah. So I guess Bear told you everything, right? So yeah, we go to this escape room. And this one, it was very puzzles oriented. You had to put things in specific places and do things in specific orders. And all this would like unlock a door or open a mechanism, unlock like a chest that has an important clue in it. Yeah, you've heard about the Bible. So I pull this Bible off of a bookshelf that is covered in books that will not open. They've been glued shut. And there are like 12 books on this case. I check every single one. None of them open except for the Bible. This Bible is obviously important. It was so important. Like, it had to have been important, right? Because it's the only book that opened. It was the only one that opened. You could flip through the pages, and it was the only one like that. The rest of them were sealed shut. So they were obviously like, you know, dead end, no clue there. At least in the pages. So I'm flipping through the book the whole time. And the way that this specific room operated was you could ask for hints if you needed. There was a specific restriction to how many hints you could have over the course of the event, but we tried to limit it to only getting hints when we were totally stumped. And we ended up getting the hint for, you know, the first big thing, and we just kept going from there. And then near the end, it's revealed that there was a big spread. Do you know what a spread is in the context of a book or like in book design? I learned this when I was in yearbook. A spread is 2 pages next to each other, left and right. There was a 2-page spread where written over the pages in blood, it was like, do this thing. Like it said very clearly what the next step was. But that was the clue that they got in the beginning from the game master. They got the clue for free. I worked so hard for it, but it was already done. Yeah, let that be known. Let that be known. It was not something they figured out on their own. They got a clue. They got a clue for free. They cheated. Yeah, no, I spent basically that entire game flipping through that book, trying and failing to find anything of importance. And by the time it was revealed, it was too late to be useful. Not very manly. Oh, that's disappointing. Because here's the thing: when we were planning the day and figuring out where we were gonna go and what we were gonna do, I remember Vera was like, "I'm low key kind of scared. I need somebody to hold on to." I was like, "I volunteer." And I was waiting for that, and it just never happened. Did he not deem me manly enough to hold on to? I didn't think about it till now. Oh man, he hates me. He hates me so bad. He said I wasn't manly enough? What the heck? I'm super manly. I'm flexing right now. I'm so manly. What the heck? Only Zeal. Well, Zeal's manly, I'll give him that, but I'm manly too. What the heck? I'd like to have a word with this guy. I think I'm manly. I think so. I guess I'm my own definition of manly. I think I reject most manly, actually. I think I reject most ideas of what it means to be manly. Maybe I'm not manly. But do you have to be manly to protect somebody? Do you have to be big macho man? Scratching my head. No, not because I'm tall. You know, that's not what I'm talking about. You can have short, manly men. Just look at Frio. Anyway, I was no help in the escape room, unfortunately. I will call out Uki specifically as the MVP of the escape room. They were picking like every lock. They were following every lead. They were first on the scene every time. Yeah, I gotta shout out Uki specifically for that one. I think they carried. When you picture this escape room experience in your mind, I need you to imagine them like dressed up like Nancy Drew on the scene with every single thing. Like, I got this. Wait, 4 numbers? Like it was uncanny. Yeah, no, they, not gonna lie, they ate. Like what is it called? The reading glass. What are those? Magnifying glass. Magnifying glass in hand, following the leads. I think we should bring back magnifying glasses. I want one of those. Yeah, I was no help in the escape room, but it was very fun, and we cleared it. We won. We got out. We escaped the room, and that was pretty awesome. Then we went for dinner. I probably shouldn't say anything like detailed about where we went, but I will say that we had an entirely gluten-free meal. The entire meal, every single thing we ordered was gluten-free, and it was really good. It was really, really good. It wasn't even the kind of like, here's a gluten-free substitution of something that tastes really good without with gluten. Every single thing was really good. Yeah, it was awesome. And we just talked and talked and talked forever. And then I got to experience my first attempt at the famous bill fight. I'm sure you've heard how these things go whenever there's a meal between livers, right? I'm sure you've heard a rumor or two. Maybe you've heard mentioned from others that fought their own battles when the check came out. I did not win. I did not win that bill fight, unfortunately. I lost that bill fight. I wasn't fast enough. I learned that day. I was determined too. I was determined to win it. I needed to come out strong on the first attempt, you know? But no. Who won? I'll leave it to the winner to declare it. But it was not me. It was not me. I don't know if there's any form of etiquette for being the one to reveal who did it. But yeah, I lost. But it stoked a fire in me. So then we get to day 2. That was all day 1. It was awesome. It was fun. I go home. Wake up, day 2. Day 2 is when I had my swag crisis. I had my swag crisis because I was going to meet everybody again, and I did not actually plan an outfit for that day ahead of time because I didn't know for certain if it was going to happen beforehand. It was more like something that we planned on the first day. We were like, hey, we want to hang out again. I was like, okay, I got it. And so I locked in that morning on the phone with you trying to figure out what I was going to wear. Came up with something pretty nice, I think. I stand by what I wore. Yeah, I wanted to look good in front of everybody. This is the beginning where I have a really negative learning experience, and now I'm stronger for it. You know that I'm very bad at navigating. Up until that point, I think almost every single thing I did and every single place I went, I had somebody leading me there or helping me figure things out, right? You know, I went to see my best friend. Pretty much everywhere we went, he was handled in that navigation. He was pointing everything out, making sure we went the right way. When I traveled with the group the first day, you know, when I saw my coworkers, everybody seemed to know what was going on. Uki was very involved in navigating. But this time, I planned a meal with Shu Yamino. That's right, I planned a meal just with him. I wanted to see if I could go out for lunch with him before I did everything else that was planned for that day. Because I had an opening. And I was like, I think this will work. And I invited him to this nice place that I was recommended. I actually asked my friend for some recommendations. I was like, which place do you think would be good for this? Give me your favorites that you've been to, please, as quickly as possible. And he gave me a bunch of recommendations, and I picked the best one. And I was like, let's go here. And then she was like, okay. And I feel so bad. I'm trying to think of how much detail I can give you about my navigational struggle in this quest. So that morning, Shu was there first. It was I will say it was a 30-minute ETA for me. And then 30 minutes became an hour because I got to the first big important place to go to that I have to reach certain checkpoints to make it where I need to go. And I realized that I forgot my wallet at my friend's apartment. So I went back and I got my wallet. So that cost me a bunch of time. And then I take off with my wallet this time, and I realized that I'm going the wrong direction. So I messaged Shu and I'm like, hey, could we do this in like 30 minutes instead of the time we agreed on? Could we do it 30 minutes later? And then she was like, okay, C, smiley face. Super chill. So then I step out, I take a deep breath, I reassess, and then I try again. And I go a second time in a different, incorrect direction. By this point, I am now an hour and a half late, and he has already gotten us a seat. And I felt so bad. And by that point, I just, I decided that it would be better to just have him eat without me. So I stood him up, I messaged him, and I was like, eat without me, I'm so sorry. I can't make it fast enough. And now he hates me. No, I'm kidding. He was so sweet about it. He was so chill. Yeah, he was totally understanding. But I felt so bad. So shouts out Shu Yamino for being so patient and for getting everywhere on time and everywhere so early. I think that was a recurring thing, actually. I feel like he was the first one there for most of the things that we did as a group. So yeah, shouts out Shu for being so punctual and awesome. Yeah, no, I feel so bad. I specifically asked him to go out with me, and then I failed to make it there because I spent 2 hours on a 30-minute ETA because I couldn't navigate correctly on my own. But then I became a master, and now I'm really good at it. That's an exaggeration. But I did demand that of myself that I had a couple wins throughout the rest of the week, which is why you may remember the next day I was like, I've got one quest today, and it's to go to the grocery store and get some groceries and then make it back to my friend's apartment by myself. The reason I decided on that quest was partially because my friend had never had any eggnog before, and I really wanted him to try it, but they weren't selling it anymore by this point in the year. But also because I needed to have a success story of navigating without anybody holding my hand. And I did it, so I felt pretty good about that. But anyway, that was the beginning of the day. So I had it on a pretty rough start, and I was feeling really bad about it. I crashed out a little bit internally, but you go on. Thankfully, Zeal was very, very sweet. He offered to... I was supposed to meet him at his place, but he offered to come find me and then guide me to his place instead. And so he did just that. We picked an attainable rendezvous point that I could find more easily. Also, another failure there because the rendezvous point for me was like a 12-minute ETA. For him, it was more like 45 to an hour, I think. And then it was so sad. We left at the same time and arrived at the same time because my map pointed me to the wrong place, and I walked in a loop for like 30 minutes, not realizing why it wasn't right there. I'm just so bad at navigating. Yeah, we met, and then he guided me to his place, and then we had the off collab, and it was so awesome. And there were no issues. Though because it took me so long to figure out everything, and because I was not showing up at his place the way we originally planned it was going to happen, like on the schedule we were originally planning, we had to really speed run setup, which is why we did the Twitter space on his account. We did the Twitter space so that we would, have something for you to listen to while we figured everything out and did all the tech support and stuff. I say we. It was mostly him. I was just sitting there watching because it's not my tech. I don't use his stuff, so I didn't know what to do. I just drew a thumbnail. I may need a compass. I may need more than a compass. I just struggle because even with my glasses on, I struggle to read signs and stuff, and I get kind of disoriented. And I don't know. It's just not what I grew up in, so I struggle to adjust to it a little bit. I really like it, though. I really, really like it. Anyway. We had the Twitter space. We had the collab. That was super fun. I really enjoyed that. I don't know if there's anything crazy to say about that. It's pretty much as you expect, right? We meet up and we do the stream. We have the donut and the burger. We each ordered the same thing. You may remember that. We had that immediately after. It was a little cold, but it was fine. And then we leave, and then we meet with the group. We were a little late, unfortunately, but everybody was super cool about it. And we went to karaoke. Yeah, we went to karaoke together as a group. And that was awesome. Yeah, I really, really liked it. It was actually my first time doing karaoke at like a karaoke place. I had never been to a karaoke place before. I've done I've done things like karaoke. There are my performance related streams. But I had never been to a karaoke joint before. It's something I've wanted to do forever. Was it really just J-pop? I will say it was mostly Japanese, most of the songs. I don't know. I every time I had the little thing in my hands trying to figure out what song to call in, I blanked. I ended up doing songs that are a little difficult to do on stream though, just because of instrumentals. Because you may know that like a big problem for that is that I have to have an instrumental that I can use. So I sang an OnStar song. That was really exciting. Yeah, I sang Memoir Antique. It's one of my favorite Ensemble Stars songs. Rate it from 1 to 10, 11. Unironically, it was so much fun. I loved it so much. Did I do it with anybody? Honestly, for most of them, there were usually 2 to... It was either 3... There were some songs where it was just one person singing because nobody knew. But if it was a song anybody else knew, they'd sing along, you know? So a lot of the songs, most of them, it was 3 to 5 of us singing along. So it wasn't any like planned duets, but there were a couple that I did where it was mostly duets. I'm running my memory back. There was even the ones I'm thinking of though, everybody else was singing along to some extent. Like there was one I did where it was mostly just me and Uki, I think. The Yoasobi song. But everybody else was singing along too. But we were the ones with the mics. Me and Zeal did Frozen Inside. Wake me up inside. Wake me up inside. But again, everybody else was singing along. We were just the ones with the mics. Zeal and I also did do you know this one? Doko ka e odekake ojo-sama. Do you know that song? I saw that one and I was like, he knows this. I don't even have to ask him if he knows it. And then he did it perfectly. So that was fun. Yeah, we did that one. What is the title called? Shanari shanari ojo-sama 100年生きてるロリータ What is that called? Was it Kyun Vampire Girl? Or is it something similar to that? I can't remember the actual title of that song. Was it Vampire Girl Kyun? Or Kyun Vampire Girl? Vampire Kyun? Anyway, we did that one together. What else was like a duet? Oh, again, with most of these, somebody is singing along even outside of who's holding the mics, right? There was, Gnarly was a really epic one. That was Zeal and Uki. That one cracked me up so bad. You know the part where it's like, I'm legit. You know the dance with the kick and the hip swivel? Every time that part would come up, Shu would do the little dance. It cracked me up so bad. I could not look away from him whenever it came up. Avi, they be trying to copy. I'm legit. He'd do it every single time. It was so funny. It was so cute. Oh, man. I'm trying to think back. Oh, man. I wish I had kept like a little recorded note so that I could keep track of this now. It was kind of a blur. What else was there? I sang Neko as well as my warm-up because I was thinking like what is a song this system definitely has so that I can see how well I can sing right now. Like how can I control my voice? And that's like a really good karaoke song, I think. Neko ni natta yo na kimi wa. And that one was kind of a solo except for when the choruses would come up. She would sing the Neko ni natta yo na kimi wa. It was like, that's the only part I know. Lol. But I did that one. And, oh my gosh, by the way, I think I might be back. I think we might be back. I was so in control of my voice during that. I think really what I needed to be cured of my lasting vocal troubles from the last 2 months, 3 months, was to just not do anything singing related for a few days. Like at all. Or maybe it's just a coincidence in timing. But yeah, when the time came for that night, I was in control of my voice the whole night. It was awesome. Even though I'm also like laughing and yelling and stuff the whole time. Yeah, it was nice. It felt really good. Yeah, I just needed to see my friends. Hang out. I'm healed. And that was pretty much the gist of everything that we did as like livers together. But there was a bill fight for karaoke, and I will say they racked up quite the tab with the little ordered meals that you could get. I won that one. I was assertive. I was bold. Perhaps even a little rude. But I tanked it. It was me. Let it be known. I won a bill fight. It was hardly a fight, though. I feel like I just seemed so pathetic. They just let me have it. I was like, no, please. Please, I wanted to do it yesterday, but I wasn't fast enough. They're like, if you're sure. But you don't need to know that part. You can forget that part. Yeah, those were the 2 days that I spent with other livers. It was really fun. I'm really happy that I could meet them. I want to meet everybody eventually. Begged them. I wouldn't say that. That's a stretch. It's more like I insisted. I was like, no, I wanted to do it yesterday. It's my turn. More like I threw a tantrum on them, but not actually. No, I was not begging. You can ask for a testimony when they talk about it. Ask for a testimony. Ask what they have to say about that. They'll be like, no, he was just assertive. You'll get the witness testimony, all right? Zeal called me earnest. Now, what's that supposed to mean? Is that a good thing? I know what earnest means, but like, what did he mean by that? You know what I mean? What is that supposed to mean? Is that a good thing? Manly and assertive. Oh, so I am manly, huh? So now I'm manly? Because earlier the idea was that I'm not manly, and that's unthinkable and crazy, and that Zeal's the only manly person in the room. Thought I was shaking in my seat during the Zelda and Link roleplay. Well, I was just excited. Okay. Listen here. I did see one thing where somebody called that a fetish, and now I have to defend myself. I didn't have friends in school till I was in middle school and high school, and nobody was role-playing on the playground at that age. All I wanted when I was in elementary school was to role-play as Link, but everybody just wanted to role-play warrior cats and freaking horses. Okay? Nobody wanted to be Link and Zelda or Ganondorf or any of those guys. Nobody wanted to roleplay that, so I was not having any of it. That was the fulfillment of a fantasy, all right? How dare you reduce it to a simple fetish? The depths of my passion run far deeper than you can even begin to fathom, okay? That was the fulfillment of a life's, like a years-long fantasy, okay? I was thriving in that moment. I just wanted to be Link, okay? Pretty much in every... Like, even my freaking pierced ear. When I was a kid, I wanted both of my ears pierced because Link has earrings, and they wouldn't let me, so I got just the one. And I've had this ear pierced ever since because I just wanted to look like Link. You can't make this up. Most of the decisions that I have made throughout my life have been because I wanted to be like Link. I drink things out of jars. I just want to be Link. I just think he's cool. It's not a fetish. I'm sorry. I'm very passionate about The Legend of Zelda. If I could get away with wearing tunics, I would. That's why I wear the grandpa fit. The grandpa style is like just the closest I can get to wearing tunics and being socially acceptable. I'd be rolling out in cloaks and chainmail if I was allowed. Oh my god. Anyway. Oh, should I give people words too? Apparently, Ver called me a cutie pie. I'm gonna be talking to him about that. I'm gonna be asking him about that. Apparently, Zeal's called me earnest. Okay, I wish I would have thought about this beforehand. Because I feel like it's gotta be good, and it's gotta be different. Okay. I'll do the same order as before. I'll do debut order. I think Shu is a really good time. I had a lot of fun anytime I was talking to Shu. Because whenever I'm in a group, I tend to float from person to person. Especially if I sense that somebody's kind of on their own. I'll kind of drift around. And anytime it was like me and Shu, I was having a really, really good time. I want to hang out with him more. So yeah, I will say that Shu is fun. That's the word I'll give him. He's very fun. Uki is very comfy. Comfy is the vibe. Comforting maybe is a better word. Similarly, like, if I sense that Uki was on their own, I'd go up and chill with them for a bit. And any of our conversations, it was just very very chill. I felt very at peace. And also, anytime I was due to get lost, I felt very safe having them as a navigator. And there were, whenever, oh, it's so funny remembering in retrospect too. Whenever we would split up that second night to go our separate ways and find our ways home, I remember when everybody was about to split up, Uki like locked eyes with me and didn't say anything. They just kept looking at me. And I was like, do you want to help me find my way home? And they were like, because they knew I was gonna get lost, and by that point it's really dark, which makes it even scarier to get lost. So I felt very protected. I felt very safe. I felt very comfy. Lo and behold, they did point me in the right direction, and the thing that I was gonna do was not the right direction. So I almost got lost at night. So they saved my life, potentially. Yeah, I will say comforting is the word I'll lock in for Uki. And then Ver, I think I will say sweet. I will call him sweet. Sweet is the word that I will use. I think he had a very reassuring presence. And in some of the like longer conversations that happened over things like dinner, I think he just had a very sweet and reassuring vibe. And one that is born, I think, of like experience and wisdom. Do you know what I mean? It's that kind of presence and that kind of presence, that kind of, I don't know, I'm trying to think of better words, but it's that kind of feeling being around him where you know you're in good hands and you know this guy knows what he's talking about. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'll say sweet. I felt good talking to him. It was nice. And then Zeal. I think with Zeal is that I have a bit more of like a pre-established impression of him because it's not the first time, right? So I'm having a bit of a harder time finding the right words. Because I want to lock it in on just one, you know? Thinking emoji. Historic. No. That's his fashion sense. I'm talking about vibes. He is historic, but that's different. That's not what we're talking about. Think. Oh, man. What would you say? What would you say about Zeal? Zeal is very... it almost feels wrong to encapsulate him in just one word. And I also had, like I said, I had a very split experience with him because he's like one person in a large group and another person when you're just on your own with him in a smaller group. Yeah, I guess chill would be the best word in either case. Because, you know, he's more talkative when you have him in a group of 2 or 3, but he's still very chill in that setting, right? And then when he's in a larger group of 4+, he's chill, but in a quieter, more of like a listener observer way. Casanova. I don't know if I'd call him a Casanova, but whatever you think. I would not call him a Casanova, personally. I would call him chill. I'd call him chill. He's very chill. He's just vibing. I think Zeal to me has the vibe of like a cartoon frog that just sits like this. You know what I mean? It was Ver that said that. Yeah, I shrug. I could see it. I don't know if that's a word that I would use. No shade, no insult. I think Zeal is very chill, very calm. Zeal's the kind of person where, like, you can have a good dialogue, and honestly, whenever we're alone, we're talking the entire time, and it's actually a big problem. Because there will be times where we're like, oh, I'm free for like an hour, and then I have to go to bed, or then I have to start this thing. And then we're talking for like 5 hours because the dialogue doesn't die. But I think he's also the kind of person that you can just kind of sit with quietly, you know? And that extends to his presence in a group setting, in the flesh. Yeah, he's just chill. He's just chill. I think chill is the word that I'll use to lock in on a word for everybody. So that's fun, comforting, sweet, and chill. Can you imagine like the smile, sweet, sista, sadistic? Kind of like that. What else happened this week that I can tell you about? I had my first drop of alcohol. I say drop, but that's an exaggeration. I did actually have some alcohol when I was like whenever I got sick, younger, just a little bit. But it was my first time drinking, like actually drinking. Yeah. My first drink. So I'm trying to think of how to best describe this without revealing too much, because this is where I step away from talking about livers and where I step into talking about the friend that I traveled to visit and to stay with for a week. And I want to protect his privacy. I don't want to tell you too much about him. So I will say that he and I have a mutual friend who was also in town for a couple days. So the first couple days, it was mostly the three of us rather than just me and the friend that I traveled to see. And that first night, they really wanted me to try something good. They wanted to make sure that my first drink was a good one and not something, you know, typical or normal. So we went to a specialist cocktail type guy. Yeah, we went to a specialist bartender that makes cocktails. And I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to run it back in my brain. This guy, we mentioned to him that it was my first time. And we asked for recommendations. And he made me this one that was very it was very colorful. Like the drink itself was bright orange. And it had like fruity pebbles crunched over the top. And it looked like a smoothie. And it came with a straw in it. And I took a sip and I was like, yep, tastes like hand sanitizer. But I didn't actually say that, but I thought that. And I think they could sense that feeling on my face. And the third friend who was in town for a couple of days, I think he sensed that and he was like, Kaelix, do you want to trade with me? Do you want to try mine instead? And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll trade if you don't mind. And he was like, oh no, I love this drink. I get yours a lot. I was like, okay. So he passed me his, and his was more of like it had more of an orangish color palette, but like less vibrant. Kind of like a cream brown orange color. And I did actually save I can't tell you the name of the order, obviously, but I can tell you some of the things in it. I think the base was hold on, let me Google this, make sure I know what I'm talking about. I'm uninitiated in the world of alcohol. I do not drink. And honestly, even after this, I don't think I'll be drinking often, if at all. Let's see. It was a rum. It was a gold rum was the base. Yeah, the base was a gold rum. And then it had sake and horchata and mezcal. And for the sweeteners, I think it was like a pumpkin butter and spiced maple. And then the top layer was egg foam. It was really good. The egg foam was my favorite part. It was a really sweet egg foam with cinnamon sprinkled over the top. And oh my gosh. That was, I think, what I needed more to really enjoy it, because honestly, I think the first drink that the bartender made specifically for me probably would have had that experience if I hadn't used the straw. Because, you know, that one also had the multi-layer system with the egg foam on top. Really sweet. But because I was drinking it from a straw, I was getting just the bottom of the glass, you know? I think if I would have had it from the cup like I did my friend's drink that we ended up trading, I probably would have really liked it. I think what I liked more was the transition from super sweet into the strong hand sanitizer flavor of alcohol, just in general. Because I don't know, like I said, I'm very new to it and this is my first one. So I think it might be something where you only start to notice the difference in flavor when you've had more of it. I tried a few other things that night. I had some shots of different kinds, but they all tasted the same to me when it was just the shots of regular alcohol. They all tasted to me the way that hand sanitizer smells. And I didn't particularly like it at all, actually. I actually disliked it a lot. I disliked the taste of the alcohol, just in general. As for tolerance, yeah, so my mom was warning me before the trip. She was like, now, you be careful, because a lot of people think this sort of thing is genetic. And if it is, 2 shots is going to be enough to completely destroy you. I was like, all right, ma'am, I'll do my best. I don't know. They may have been pulling their punches, my friends, because then after, you know, after the specialty cocktail place, we went back to the third friend's place. We went to his house and we went inside and we drank there because they thought that if there was any risk of me actually getting drunk, it should be in somebody's home instead of out in public, you know? So we did shots of, what is it? What kind of alcohol is Jack Daniels again? Is it whiskey? Is that the type that is? I can't remember for sure. We did shots of that. And we also did shots of... I can't remember what it was called, but it was... I think it was Korean, and it came in a round brown bottle. Like, it was very circular, but not a full circle. It was oblong and rounded. And it had Korean on the bottle. But I don't remember what that one was called. We did shots of that. I did, I think, 2 or 3 of the whiskey. And then also 2 or 3, maybe closer to 4 or 5 of the brown one. I don't know if it was soju or not. I know that's like the first guess when I say it's Korean, right? But I don't know if that's what it was. I don't know for sure. But yeah, anyway, I didn't really get drunk. I don't think the entire time I was consistently in my right mind. I was thinking and speaking coherently. I wasn't doing anything weird. I didn't feel weird, but I was warm. My body heated up, and that is not necessarily a good thing. It is a common thing, but I think that's actually like that's not necessarily a sign that you're doing great, you know? Yeah, I still don't know what it's like to be drunk. I did not get drunk. But I think I was buzzed, I think is the way you described that. Yeah, I remember everything super clearly. I remember all the details of the conversation we had, and I was actively engaged. And this was a pretty serious conversation that we were having over drinks too. We were talking like recent friend gossip that I had missed out on because I wasn't as involved. I've been so busy with my work. So I missed a lot of the gossip that's, you know, going on in my older circles. Yeah, tipsy maybe is a word people describe, but yeah, like I said, I was behaving exactly the same as usual. I think in Eddie's setting, it would have been exactly the same too on the same number of drinks. And I did not wake up with a headache or anything like that. Oh, it's good if you had enough food. That may have something to do with it, because we went for dinner before that. Yeah, we had a lot of dinner. And it was a good dinner too. Oh my gosh, I had this really delicious pasta. It was so nice. It was so nice with a pink sauce. You know, I love pink sauce. I love making a delicious white sauce and then tainting it with red sauce to make a pink sauce. Yeah, I could have good tolerance, but I don't know yet. And I don't know. I need a specific occasion. I'm curious, just as I told you before, I'm curious to know how I act when I'm like drunk, actually drunk. But I'm not going to go out of my way to create an opportunity for it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I now know that I can have about that much without causing a scene. If an opportunity ever arises in the future where I can find out what happens when I dip into it further, I'll keep you posted, I guess. But I have no intention of pushing myself. I think it's important to exercise some tact with this stuff. And like I said, I don't actually like the taste of it at all. I actually really hate it. But I like the vibe. I like the setting. You know, I like sharing that thing with others. I honestly would like it just as much, maybe even a little more, if we were all sipping hot sauce or like poison or something. Honestly, low-key, you are sipping poison when you have alcohol. Alcohol is kind of poisonous. High-key. High-genuinely. High-genuinely, it is poison. Yeah, I think I will try it again sometime, just not anytime soon. Yeah, I need the right setting and the right people too, because if I'm gonna be drunk, I might become a hindrance to others. So I need to be sure that it's somebody that I would not mind as much being a hindrance to. And that number of people is very small that I would be comfy like, you know, imposing on in that way. So, but my content, boo-hoo. Sorry. I can be fun and entertaining without a drop, right? I've done it all this time. You know, that is one area where I'm a little bit immune to peer pressure, and it's very rare because peer pressure is everything for me. FOMO will guide my decisions until the day I die, and it may even become the reason I die someday. But yeah, I think alcohol specifically, I can take more of a Frio-esque outlook on it, you know? What is it? Iotmo. It's okay to miss out. Do I turn red easily? I think I might, specifically because I mentioned that I didn't get drunk, but I got warm. They mentioned it. They were like, yo, Kaelix, you're red as a tomato right now. I was like, am I? Really? And then I brought my hand up to my cheek and I was like, huh, yeah, that's a fever. I actually got really scared because I thought I had gotten sick already. Because, oh my God, announcement to make. Holy moly, I completely forgot. So for the last like 4 or 5 trips that I've taken in a row, I've had a super consistent streak. Every time I leave the house for a trip, I come back super sick. I get sick every single time. At the very least, I catch a cold. I'm very proud to report that I was away from home for a whole week, surrounded by people, countless times. And I'm not sick. I'm in perfect health. I'm in great condition. If anything, I feel so much better than I left. You know what I mean? I feel better now than I did when I left the house. I feel like I've healed. I feel stronger. My legs are definitely stronger. Oh my gosh, my steps jumped up like crazy. Do you want to know my average steps for each day? Here, hold on. I won't show it to you because I don't want to go through the hassle of taking a screenshot and then transferring it everywhere, but my average steps for a day where I do not exercise, right? Because, you know, if I'm exercising, it's hard to estimate because I actually don't bring my phone with me on exercise days because I don't like the way it feels jiggling around in my pocket. So I don't actually have any data for what this graph would look like on a day when I exercise. But on a non-exercise day, I average anywhere between 500 and 3,000 steps, you know? And these are specifically on days where I'm not exercising, I'm just living my daily life, right? Just doing the things that I do unrelated to exercise. Each day of this trip, I walked anywhere between 15,000 and 25,000 steps. Each day. The only day that dipped significantly was... Hold on, I gotta go back to week view. Specifically... Hold on. Which day is this? Why can't I see? Oh, I can slide it. Okay. It was Monday. Monday. That was the outlier day because we mostly just stayed at home that day. And that day I got 7,000. Yeah, I kept getting lost. And it's like I said, a 12-minute ETA becomes a full hour for me because I'm really slow. And rather than slow, it's more like I'm slow in the head. I take way longer to figure out where I'm going and I get lost and then I have to correct and then the correction is wrong. So I have to correct that correction. Yeah, I walked so much this trip and it was awesome. I wish I could do it every day. I love walking. I genuinely love walking, but it's just so difficult to do here. Oh yeah, you want to know the day I went to find Shu for lunch? Hold on. That day, I'm almost scared to say it. That day, I walked 21,000 steps. Oh man, yeah, because you know I'm not gonna leave the house without a phone. I'm not gonna leave my house without my phone if I'm traveling. So I actually do have a pedometer that's counting it for this. Yeah, no. Oh my god, and my big navigation win actually was the night of the karaoke. I didn't tell you this part. So you know, everybody's parting ways. I figured out my route. You know, I used this little app that my friend I was staying with recommended for me. And then, you know, Uki looks at me and they're like, you know, I say, do you want to help me find my way home? And they're like, mm-hmm. You know, without saying anything. And got my route. Everybody splits up. I'm heading off on my way. And then my phone dies. Yep. My phone dies like half to 3/4 of the way there. So I have to find my way back to my friend's apartment completely raw, like no assistive tools whatsoever. I got to rely on the signs. I got to rely on my memory. Thankfully, when my phone was at like 5%, I committed his address and general location to memory as best as I could. But I did it! I did it successfully. Thankfully he had given me a few hacks to figure out like and to remember how the signs worked and how streets were named, because there's like a rule. Yeah, I didn't think to bring a power bank. Shu offered one, but I was stubborn. I didn't accept it. I was like, nah, it'll be fine. And it was, so I won. Yeah, no, I was wandering around alone at night on my way home with a dead phone in my pocket. And I made it. I made it. And I told my friend too, I was like, my phone is about to die, so I'm on my way home, that's all. And I knew exactly where it was, but I didn't actually make it all the way to his apartment. My friend actually, I guess he got worried. He got dressed and started walking outside in the general direction that I think he assumed I was going to be heading. And we met on the street. And he walked back with me because I think he was scared I was going to die or something. I am very known for this. Because, you know, I come from Kokiri Village. It's very different here. You don't have to do that kind of navigation. And honestly, even in a car, I wouldn't be able to navigate around Kokiri Village effectively. It's just a skill that I do not have any practice with. So yeah. But yeah, I had my big win. I found my way back to his apartment with no phone. So I'm basically like a native now. Yeah. Did he like the eggnog? He loved it. And honestly, I loved it enough that I don't want to buy it anymore. I always knew that buying eggnog at the store is different from making it, and that the thing you buy is very different than what actual eggnog is. I've always known that, but I didn't want to acknowledge it as long as I had never tried it. It's an entirely different world, my friend. Oh my god. If you had like homemade eggnog and didn't like it, you need to get an apology written from the person that made it, because it was just bad eggnog. It's so good. Like, I think, just to be clear, I've been hard shilling store-bought eggnog this whole time. I've been recommending a specific brand and everything. My standards now are that the thing I've been recommending this whole time is good. Homemade is great. Capital G, exclamation point. So good. So good. Yeah, I made it myself. So I mentioned that after the terrible day where I got lost and I had to stand up Shu Yamino, I mentioned that I needed a win. So that's why for the day after that, when the livers weren't hanging out anymore, I planned a grocery trip. I tried straight up like 7 or 8 grocery stores, and none of them had eggnog. And the last one that I tried had eggnog listed on DoorDash as an option that you could order. So I was like, oh, maybe they've got it. So I went there in person and it wasn't there. So I just ended up buying all the ingredients for a good 2 jars worth. I changed the proportions, like the portion size in my head, and I calculated it. And then I brought it back to his apartment. He was still at work, so I was able to surprise him. And he actually has like a gas stove, which I had never used until this trip. Because all my houses that I've ever lived in, ever since I was a kid, for our stoves that we cooked on, they were more like the type where it's flat. Is that conductive? Is that what that's called? Electric? We've never had a gas stove where you actually get the little fire that comes out. And I was a little nervous about using that. And I had the perfect alibi too. I texted him and I was like, I think I need your help actually. Are you okay with doing this with me when you're home? He was like, yeah, Kaelix, I'll help you. Don't worry. Better that you don't burn yourself or anything. So he had the expectation walking into his apartment that he was going to start cooking rather than drinking, you know? He thought he was going to have to help me. Induction. Induction. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so I'm used to induction type stoves, but he had a gas stove with the fire in it. But I watched a bunch of YouTube videos on how they work and how to estimate the temperature, and thankfully he did have a thermometer as well, so I was able to match it pretty closely. And I made it perfectly! And I'm generally not very good with that kind of cooking. But it actually kind of played into something I am good at, because I'm particularly good at, aside from pastas, right? I'm good at anything in a frying pan, like making eggs and pancakes and stuff. And part of that is that it's in front of you the whole time, right? And the thing with eggnog is that if you don't stir it constantly, it's ruined. If you take 3 seconds off from stirring it, if you look away for just a moment, congratulations, you've made scrambled eggs. You know? Where did I get the recipe? I combined a few, and I even asked my mom for how she makes it, and I referenced all of them together. But I did follow one video for the general process. So my recipe was a little different than this guy, but the process was the same. Hold on. I'll give you his name. Joshua Weissman. Weissman. I think it's a German last name. Weissman, maybe. I don't know how, I've never heard the last name out loud. But he has a video called Super Easy Homemade Eggnog. That video is the one that I referred to for the process. The recipe and the portions were a little different. For example, I used more cream than I did milk. And I think I may have used a different type of milk than he did. But yeah, his video was the one that I referred to for how am I stirring this? What am I watching out for? What's the order this happens in? Because I think finding a good video tutorial for cooking is often more reliable for something like this than a written recipe. Yeah, it was really good. It was so good. I loved it so much. Oh, it was so delicious. Oh, man. Yeah. And he really liked it. I was so thankful. I worried a little bit because he's not the best when it comes to lactose. He and I have we've kind of bonded in the past over lactose intolerance being a thing that we don't like officially have, but that we marginally suffer with from time to time. And we just kind of tank it anyway for foods that we like. So I was expecting that he wouldn't like it very much. He doesn't drink much milk. He only had Lactaid in his fridge. And he had like literally in like a minute or two, he had like 80% of the jar, I want to say. He drank it so fast. So that's how I know he meant it. Like he liked it. He really liked it. So I felt really nice. So I had my big win. I successfully grocery shopped and navigated my way back. And I did navigate to the store with my phone, but I did another challenge. Even though my phone had battery power on it, I navigated back to his place without my phone. Successfully. And without him there to save me halfway through. So yeah, I had a major success and I felt way better about it. Because, I talk sometimes about how do I phrase this? It's important to have a healthy mindset with most things. And it's important to consider that, when things are frustrating, when things are sad, it will always be better later. But that mindset is very easy said rather than easy done. And I am also prone to getting worms in my brain. You know what I mean? I am prone to getting worms in my brain. And so when I have an experience like I had the day with Shu, to be honest with you, when I make a big mistake like that, rather than thinking, anybody else doing this for their first time, their first trip to this kind of place, they'd make the same mistake I did. They may even make worse mistakes. Rather than thinking that, even though I know it, the nasty saboteur in my brain is like, you suck, and this is specifically a you problem, and everybody hates you. So I'm glad that I could have a win to kind of wipe that away and feel better about it. Yeah. So I feel very good about the trip, which is also very helpful for when the time comes that I can eventually move to Japan. I still don't know when that's going to happen. And I think when the time does actually approach, I may decide to be mysterious about it because I think it's more fun that way. But it gives me some valuable experience because when I was in Japan, I didn't get to travel much at all because I was sick for most of it. But anytime I did travel, I was clinging to the code of somebody else, I was just following other people around. So yeah, it's good practice to learn how to navigate on your own when you catch when you catch an experience like I have, when you live the way I do in a place like I do. Yeah, I feel much wiser now and much stronger. And honestly, I will say I also feel super motivated. I mentioned that we had some super serious conversations over drinks. And one of those was about my friend's work situation. Because he's a normal person. He's not related to the entertainment industry or anything like that at all. Works a normal job, but he had some hardships, to be honest with you. And he he had something very disappointing and frustrating happen related to it recently, but he's got a very big what is the word? He's got a proud he's got a good head on his shoulders about it. He's very motivated. He's feeling super motivated. And he's using this disappointing, frustrating thing as a way to motivate himself to work even harder for something more exciting in the future. And I don't know, after that, I feel very inspired to kind of take the same approach. Not that anything frustrating or disappointing has happened for me, but I feel very motivated after this trip to work extra hard for the rest of this year. You know what I mean? Yeah, I feel very determined. And I feel like I kind of needed that. I feel like I've been, you know, I work where I can behind the scenes, but I feel like I've been kind of complacent to have that not be as visible and to have my work be kind of slow. I think I want to strive for something bigger and something that you can see a bit more of as well. I want to start doing more work that you can observe. You know what I mean? So after the trip, I feel very newly inspired. Yeah, a very good start to fire up. I'm filled with determination. Yeah, it filled me with determination. Undertale reference. Yeah, I really needed it, I think. Ultimately, it was an impulsive decision because I knew that I was going to be super busy from January through like February, March. And I knew he was going to be super busy from March for several months after. So I was like, okay, this is a window that I can have. And I feel like it's going to get harder and harder to do something like this as time goes on. Especially if I do end up moving super far away. So yeah, it was an impulsive trip, but I think it was one I really, really needed. And I'm really glad that I took it. And I feel so good now. What the heck is this? Is this coordinated? What are you doing? What the heck? What is this? I was trying not to acknowledge it, but now what the heck? No, I'm being bombarded. Stop. You have to stop. What? What the heck? What the heck? What's going on? What happened? Oh, what? What? Do I have to just not take a trip anymore? Is that, should I just not take another vacation? What's going on? Oh man. Where? Oh my gosh. I love these colors, you know. Oh my gosh. What is this format? What is this? What's the meaning of this? What are you saying? This is so coordinated. What the heck? What? What is this? What is going on? What? Hey, come on. Stop. What are you doing? You have to stop. No. Oh my gosh. What? That was scary. I just knocked something over. Did you hear that? My rage was too powerful. Oh my god. Thank you. Thank you for your support. Holy moly. Now, I don't know what to say. Oh my gosh. Okay, fine. I have to give as good as I'm getting. You know, I try to... I think a valuable skill to have is just to match the energy of whatever surrounds you. You know, match the energy of the people you break bread with. I will say... Man, you should have told me. I would have thought of something to say beforehand. I didn't have the same luxury. What the heck? Ah! Stop!
Okay. While I was on my trip, I had a lot of fun. I had so much fun, and I met people that I've loved for a very long time, for the first time, and it was really exciting. And while I was away on my trip, I learned a lot of things, and I had a lot of firsts that I've been looking forward to, some that I've been fearing more than looking forward to. And I met coworkers that I really admire and that inspire me every day. And I missed you so much. I missed you so much. I wished so badly that I could have done everything that I do when I'm at home while I was also on that trip. I thought of you each and every day, and whenever something cool would happen, I would think, they are gonna love this. Like, I cannot wait to tell them about this. So, now that I am back and no longer on my trip, I want to thank you for always being so sweet. And I want to thank you for always cheering for me. And I want to thank you for making it clear that it is okay for me to rest if I need it. And for making it clear that it's okay for me to rest even if I don't need it. And thank you for... I don't know. Thank you for being so nice to me. I don't know what to say. What the heck is this? Boo. Yes, I am back now, and I plan to do my best to be super present. I think I did tell you that I will have some super busy work coming up this month and into next month, and honestly, probably into the month after that as well. My schedule may need to become something that's more typical of the times when I was really busy in the past rather than on trips. There may be times where we cannot see each other as often, or when our times together will be shorter. But I will do my best to make any second that we share one that you do not regret, and one that you can be proud of. Thank you for choosing to support me. What the heck? Yeah, thank you so much for your support. I will do everything I can to become a talent that you can be proud of. I will do my very best. Tadaima. 愛してくれて本当にありがとう。これからも頑張ります。100% power. スーパーウルトラ Best effort. Where? Needless to say, I'm very proud of you. Thank you for being such a kind presence, whether I'm there to fully participate in it or not. I always hear such nice things about you from others, and it makes me feel so nice. I get so proud. I get so proud whenever somebody's like, Debonairs are such a sweet people. They're so nice. They're so kind. I'm like, Speak on it. I'm very thankful. Very thankful. I feel like it's much more than I deserve. So again, I will do my very best to... I'll do my best to show you a good time. It'll probably be a while till my next trip. That being said, I do think I want to take more trips this year. But I'll do my best to work out my tech beforehand so that I can still stream when I'm traveling in the future. Because I did not plan to spend that whole trip without streaming. It was by accident that it ended up being like a phone call week. It was completely by accident that I was just sending you, I was just ringing you on the phone instead of streaming normally. My laptop just would not work the way it was supposed to. It seemed fine when I did it from home, but then when I tried using different gear, it did not. So I think I may need to just start packing more luggage so that I can also bring my gear rather than just the laptop. You like the phone calls? I had a feeling you might. Even so, I think it's important to, to hang out in our normal way. Though there's also the idea of distance makes the heart grow fonder, right? That's a common phrase, isn't it? So maybe spending the whole week without streams makes it feel even more awesome now that we're back, right? And we're so back. I feel like my normal self again. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of pushing it for a bit there, near like the last quarter of 2025. I was kind of pushing myself a bit. I feel so good right now. Yeah, I feel so recharged. We're so back. I feel like we never really left, if that makes sense. Because even if I was pushing myself, I still feel like we had a lot of fun, and things were just generally very good. But yeah, I think I'm gonna take more trips this year. I'm gonna travel more. I'm gonna try to meet more people. But don't worry, I'm not planning to take full weeks off very much in the future. Don't expect a bunch of that just because I say I want to travel more. Holy moly. What else is there to report? I went to a museum and that made me really happy. Yeah, that was one of my only one-on-one dates that I went on. I didn't do very many of those. And this was really nice. This friend in particular, we love to complain to each other. We complain about the woes of our life. And I think I may have told you that I went on a field trip when I was a kid and we had a bunch of museums that we wanted to see. And there was one particular museum that we got stuck in really early in our specialized itinerary because I was in a nerd friend group and we actually liked things like museums. We had a bunch of stuff we wanted to see. And in like the first or second museum on our plan, this one kid got lost and we spent the whole day looking for him. So I didn't actually get to see any of those museums. And I have not been to a museum since that day when I was a kid. And so this friend was determined to get me to a museum. And so I went to a museum. It was really nice. Yeah, I won't tell you which museum just to be safe. Just to protect my friend, but yeah. I got to go to a museum and that was really nice. And it was pretty cool. I saw a lot of stuff that I really liked. I learned some things too. The thing I like about museums is that, I don't know, I love Googling things and I love reading articles and I love watching videos that are informative about things like nature and history and stuff. But I think that when you're in a museum, having a visual aid that's displayed next to the little placards that explain everything, I think that's a very different learning experience. So I really like it. And it healed like an angry, whiny kid in me to go. So that was really nice. I had a lot of good meals as well. I had some foods for the first time. I tried truffle oil for the first time, and that was really good. My friend because when I was eating with my friends, we would have this system of like, we each order different things and we each take a bite off of the other two. We take a bite off we take a bite off of the other two orders before finishing our own. So I tried a number of things. And I was told that truffle oil is a very divisive thing. And you either really like it or you don't really like it. I like it a lot. Kind of obsessed with it. I love truffle oil. All I knew about truffle oil before having it this last week was that it's a really high value export in Stardew Valley. Yeah, I love it. It's good. I want to put that on everything. I could drink it, personally. I also had fried calamari for the first time. Or I guess like squid in general, maybe. I can't remember if I had any kind of squid before, but I'm pretty sure I had fried calamari for the first time. That was good. I had... What else did I have for the first time? Oh my gosh. I had pork belly. And I think it was my first time having a cut of meat that wasn't like usual, like standard cuts. I don't know where they get the usual cuts of meat from, but yeah, I had pork belly and that was really, 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 really good. Oh my God. I was obsessed with it. It was so nice. Korean style, Chinese style, specifically Shanghai style, I think. Yeah, I think that one was specifically from a place that was focused on Shanghai type Chinese food. Yeah, it was really, really good. I loved it so much. It was very, very, very yummy. And I had, what else did I have for the first time? I'm trying to think of the things I had never tried before that. I did take photos. It was kind of funny. It became a running joke. Every trip I go on, my mom ends up yelling at me after because I never have any photos to show her. Because I'm not much of a photo person when I travel. So this trip, I announced this as a joke to friends. And livers too, they picked up on this. Anytime there'd be photos, sometimes people would be like, all right, Kaelix, be sure to take a photo for your mom. Oh yeah, there was I mentioned that we went to a couple places when the group of 5 of the livers wasn't complete yet. We went to a cafe, and I had my first performative male beverage. That's right, I had a matcha latte for the first time. Entirely because I wanted to see what all the performative hype was about. I was like, why is everybody talking about this latte? Why do they want to be seen drinking this latte? So yeah, I got a matcha latte for the first time. And it's kind of funny because everybody else got the same order and it was not a matcha latte. And when you take the photo of them, like we took the photo of them, you could see one specific drink stands out from the rest. And I remember when I looked at the photo, I was like, can you guess which one of these orders came from somebody who reads feminist literature? It was so funny. Yeah, I had a matcha latte. Personally, I don't see the appeal because here's the thing. I like matcha and I like lattes. I think people that like lattes should have lattes and people that like matcha should have something more typical of matcha. Do you know what I mean? I think people that order matcha lattes really are just buying into the hype of I want matcha in everything. That's what I think. Is that too polarizing of a stance? Is that a hot take? I don't know. But that's how I feel after now having tasted it for the first time. Because, you know, before this, I think I've had matcha. I've definitely had lattes. This is my first matcha latte, and I do not think I stand by the hype. Like, it's okay, but I feel like it would have been so much better to have a typical matcha-based drink and or a typical latte. Yeah. I don't know about the matcha latte craze. I'm afraid I will not be purchasing a Labubu to you know, strap to my belt, or a Stanley Cup, or a copy of Little Women to hold in my hand while I walk around. Flip to a random page and pretend to read. Or a Mitski album print. What are they called? Those bags that are reusable, good for grocery shopping. Tote bag. Mitski album printed tote bag. Yeah, I will not be getting any of these things, I'm afraid, because I don't actually like matcha latte that much. It's like, it's okay, I like it, but I don't love it. But I do love lattes, and I do love matcha in a different context. But yeah, I had that, and that was okay. It was nice. I had more coffee this last week than I think I have cumulatively had it the last, maybe all of 2025. Straight up. I think I had more coffee last week than I had all of 2025 added together. Because I had coffee twice. The day that we did the escape room, I had it at a few different places. I had an espresso the second day. I ordered coffee one of the days I was out with my friend. Yeah, I had more coffee last week than I've had all of 2025, I think. Because I never drink coffee. Sweet or savory person? I like both. I have an insatiable sweet tooth. With coffee, I tend to prefer it bitter if it comes from a nice place. If it's cheap coffee, like if it's the kind of coffee that I'm making at home from like dollar store beans that are pre-ground, I'll usually load it up with milk and sugar so I can't taste it. Yeah, I had a lot of coffee. It was nice. I actually really love coffee. I just don't drink it because it's terrible for your voice long term. Like if you drink it every day, it caffeine dries out your throat. Yeah, I was awesome. I was living it up. It was great. And I did it honestly mainly because I did not have to think at all about whether my voice was usable for once, which is refreshing. I don't know if this is something you ever think about. Because, you know, even for someone out, you know, other than me in the company, somebody, for example, who does not sing at all, you still have to manage your voice in little ways. Excuse me. Pretty funny timing for my throat to go like when I'm talking about that. But regardless of what you do, if you talk for a living, you have to manage your voice in some way, and you have to keep track of how it feels. So it was very refreshing for me to go a full week where I was not thinking at all. Like, I kind of want this, but I should probably pass on it because it would not help my voice right now. Because pretty much my entire life I'm going, and I've been doing this since I was like a teen, like a classical student. I'm passing up on things that I do like, and I know that I like, because it's better not to for your voice. Every now and then as a treat is nice though. Yeah, I only end up drinking coffee normally, like at home, if I'm really struggling to flip my schedule around. I can use that to reinforce it because caffeine is super effective on me. Quitting coffee? No, you don't have to quit coffee. And I think coffee does have some health benefits. What matters is how much of it you have and how often you have it. Personally, if you need coffee to start your day, I'd recommend weaning off of the coffee and weaning onto some sleep. Coffee is just a replacement for sleep, and it's not a healthy one. Yeah, I think rather than relying on a cup of coffee every day, you just gotta make your bedtime a little earlier if you're waking up at the same time every day. That's what I recommend. Get some better sleep. If you're sleeping 7 hours, you're okay. If you're sleeping closer to 9, you are awesome. And you're killing it. And you're going to wake up and you're going to feel refreshed. And you're not going to even want coffee because you'll be super awake for the whole day. And then you'll get home and you'll be super sleepy and it's time for bed again. Yeah. That being said, coffee is very delicious. There are so many different varieties of coffee and so many different ways to prepare it and, like, you know, spice it up. I'm not dissing on coffee. I love coffee. But long term or as like something that you need to survive, not a very good habit. Yeah. Just like, you know, it would not be very wise for me to drink eggnog every day, even though I like it. Yeah, this is mainly my perspective of someone who thinks a lot about vocal health, because I need to work with my voice. But honestly, even aside from vocal health, relying on coffee to be awake throughout the day, every single day, has some other adverse health effects. So you got to be careful. Don't push yourself too hard. You know, I'm no one to tell you how to live your life, but be careful. I want to make sure you're in good health. Anyway, I feel like there were other things that happened of note that I could tell you about, but I'm at the point where I do need to get out of here. I accumulated quite a few things that I have to work on this last week. Now I have to play catch up, so we're hitting the 2-hour mark, so I will dip out of here now, if that's okay with you. Yeah, I was originally thinking I would take the full day off to rest and decompress and then get some work done, but I was going crazy. I wanted to hang out for a bit. It's been a whole week. I've missed this too much. So yeah, I do not have my schedule for the rest of the week yet, but I will have it as soon as I can. I think I did write some things before I left last week, so let me check. I have not fully worked it out, but I will tell you this. You realistically will not see me Friday evening because I have an important arrangement that I have to be there for off stream. So Friday evening, you probably will not see me. If you do see me, it'll be into the night, which means probably not, because I usually don't start streams late at night unless it's a collab or something special like New Year's. But who knows? Maybe. It'll depend on how my voice is doing then. Most of this week, undetermined. I was going to try to do Splatfest today, but it's definitely not happening, right? It's probably over soon anyway. So yeah, rest of the week is undetermined, but somewhere in this week, probably Saturday, actually, probably Saturday of this week, I will be doing my first ever ASMR stream. That's right, first timer ASMR. I got my cool binaural microphone, and now I can use it. I did actually get to sample one of those microphones when I visited Zeal, because that was the microphone we opted to use, because it was the one with the widest radius for 2 people in the same space. But yeah, I'll be doing an ASMR stream, so I hope you can look forward to that. And that will be everything that I know for now. When I got the rest of it worked out, I will let you know. I have no idea what I want to do. There are actually some collabs that people sent out pings for while I was away, so it may be, I don't know if it's too late for me to join in on those. I'll let you know when I know. Member, no, this one will be public because it's my first one. If it goes well, we could occasionally do it member only, but I haven't decided yet. I do kind of want to do a members only stream this week though. I've been in the mood for one of those, and I didn't get to do one last week. So, yeah, I think I may do a members only stream this week as well. Maybe like Tuesday, because that's usually my member only day. Day off? Probably, honestly. I may need to actually take tomorrow off just to fully rest. The rest of tonight, I'm going to be catching up on what work I can. And honestly, I think tomorrow, while I will be resting, probably, I do want to lock in on like getting an affirmative plan for the rest of this year down. Because I'm feeling very newly motivated and inspired and rejuvenated, and I want to work super hard. I give it my best effort, but I want to work twice as hard this week or this year. I want to work twice as hard as before. And that should hopefully mean some more fun things for you to see in the future. So, wink. Yeah, I'm gonna get out of here for now. As for where you're gonna go, you're free to go anywhere. You're free to move as you please. I'm not your boss or anything. But I would recommend that you stop by. Let's see. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Let's see who went live when. When I got this many options, that's usually how I go. It doesn't matter if it's Sunday. Ooh. Okay. I'm gonna go eeny meeny miny mo in the end, I think. Wait, hold on. Let me check this one more time. Okay. No, I've done that so recently. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, no, this is topical. This makes sense because I was just talking about them. I'm gonna send you to Uki Violetta, Debonair president. I did redirect very recently, but I was just talking about them today, and they were also here, so it makes sense. They're playing Pokemon Legends Z to A, specifically post DLC. All right, so if you're playing this for the first time with me, and you want to go unspoiled, do not watch. That's your warning. There will be spoilers on screen. All right. Spoiler warning for Pokemon Legends Z to A, specifically post DLC. So this isn't just post story, because we haven't even finished post story. We haven't even started DLC. This is post DLC that they're doing. So they're like end game. Yeah, they're very sweet, very chill vibe, and I hung out with them last week. So send them my love. All right, send them some love, support, say something sweet if you can. And be sure to follow the rules in the description, all right? Be nice and polite, courteous, respectful. Mind the space that you take up. Think about what you say before you say it. Generally good rules to follow, you know? Yeah, I can trust you. You're always very well behaved. Thank you. Thank you again for being such a nice present in the wider presence. Thank you for always being whoa. Thank you again for always being such a nice presence in the wider community. Sometimes I get so excited that I stumble over my words. I talk a little too fast for my own good. Yeah, thank you for always representing us and for representing me so well. Thank you so much. All right, I'm gonna get out of here now. I'm gonna go rest my throat Speaking of like the voice and resting the voice, I'm gonna go rest my voice, and I'm gonna get some work done. Then I'll be going to bed. Yeah, I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, night. I hope that you get some good rest. I hope that you have some delicious food. And I hope that you stay safe, as always. Let's make this year a good one, all right? All right. Bye-bye.